Hey everybody, welcome back to Chapter Chat with Tiden, week 5. I cannot believe we've already had 5 chapter chats and 5 weeks of school. I hope things have been going well for you, and I do appreciate the positive feedback on the chapter chats. So today I picked a book that was like on a little bit of a less serious level. It's a mystery thriller and is about games. So it's called The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, and this would be a fun book and actual series. She has multiple books that go together if you like to read and want to be intrigued by some games and mystery. So today we're going to read chapter 1 and learn about Avery, who's a high school student, and the games that she likes to play. Chapter 1. When I was a kid, my mom constantly invented games. The quiet game, the who can make their cookies last longer game. A perennial favorite, the marshmallow game, involved eating marshmallows while wearing puffy Goodwill jackets indoors to avoid turning on the heat. The flashlight game was what we played when the electricity went out. We never walked anywhere. We raced. The floor was nearly always lava. The primary purpose of pillows was building forts. Our longest-lasting game was called I Have a Secret, because my mom said that everyone should always have at least one. Some days she guessed mine, some days she didn't. We played every week, right up until I was 15, and one of her secrets landed her in the hospital. The next thing I knew, she was gone. Your move, princess, a gravely voice dragged me back to the present. I don't have all day. Not a princess, I retorted, sliding one of my knights into place. Your move, old man. Harry scowled at me. I didn't know how old he was, really. I had no idea how he'd become homeless and living in the park where we played chess each morning. I did know that he was a formidable opponent. You, he grumbled, eyeing the board, are a horrible person. 3 moves later, I had him. Checkmate. You know what that means, Harry. He gave me a dirty look. I have to let you buy me breakfast. Those were the terms of our long-standing bet. When I won, he couldn't turn down the free meal. To my credit, I only gloated a little. It's good to be a queen. I made it to school on time, but barely. I had a habit of cutting things close. I walked the same tightrope with my grades. How little effort could I put into still getting an A? I wasn't lazy. I was practical. Picking up an extra shift was worth trading a 98 for a 92. I was in the middle of drafting an English paper in Spanish class when I was called to the office. Girls like me were supposed to be invisible. We didn't get summoned for sit-downs with the principal. We made exactly as much trouble as we could afford to make, which in my case was none. Avery, Principal Altman's greeting was not one would call warm. Have a seat. I sat. He folded his hands on the desk between us. I assume you know why you're here. Unless this was about my weekly poker game I'd been running in the parking lot to finance Harry's breakfast, and sometimes my own, I had no idea what I'd done to draw the administration's attention. Sorry, I said, trying to sound sufficiently meek, but I don't. Principal Altman let me sit with my response for a moment and then presented me with the stapled packet of paper. This is the physics test you took yesterday. Okay, I said. That wasn't the response he was looking for, but it was all I had. For once, I'd actually studied. I couldn't imagine I'd done badly enough to merit intervention. Mr. Yates graded the test, Avery. Yours was the only perfect score. Great, I said, in a deliberate effort to keep myself from saying okay again. Not great, young lady. Mr. Yates intentionally creates exams that challenge the abilities of his students. In 20 years, he's never given a perfect score. Do you see the problem? I couldn't quite bite back my instinctive reply. A teacher who designs tests most of his students can't pass? Mr. Altman narrowed his eyes. You're a good student, Avery. Quite good, given your circumstances. But you don't exactly have a history of setting the curve. That was fair. So why did I feel like he'd gut-punched me? I'm not without sympathy for your situation, Principal Altman continued, but I need you to be straight with me here. He locked his eyes onto mine. Were you aware that Mr. Yates keeps copies of his old exams on the cloud? He thought I'd cheated. He was sitting there, staring me down, and I'd never felt less seen. I'd like to help you, Avery. You've done extremely well given the hand life has dealt you. I would hate to see any plans you might have for the future derailed. Any plans I might have, I repeated. If I'd had a different last name, if I'd had a dad who was a dentist and a mom who stayed home, he would have acted like the future was something I might have thought about. I'm a junior, I gritted out. I'll graduate next year with at least 2 semesters worth of college credit. My test scores should put me in a scholarship contention at UConn, which has one of the top actuarial science programs in the country. Mr. Altman frowned. Actuarial science? Statistical risk assessment? It was the closest I'd come to double majoring in poker and math. Besides, it was one of the most employable majors on the planet. Are you a fan of calculated risk, Miss Grams? Like cheating? I couldn't let myself get any angrier. Instead, I'd pictured myself playing chess. I marked out the moves in my mind. Girls like me didn't get to explode. I didn't cheat, I said calmly. I studied. I'd scraped together time in other classes between shifts later at night that I should have stayed up. Knowing that Mr. Yates was infamous for giving impossible tests had made me want to redefine possible. For once, instead of seeing how close I could cut it, I wanted to see how far I could go. And this is what I got for my effort, because girls like me didn't ace impossible exams. I'll take the test again, I said, trying not to sound furious, or worse, wounded. I'll get the same grade again. And what would you say if I told you that Mr. Yates had prepared a new exam? All new questions, every bit as difficult as the first. I didn't even hesitate. I'll take it. That can be arranged tomorrow during 3rd period, but I have to warn you that this will go significantly better if you... Now! Mr. Altman stared at me. Excuse me? Forget sounding weak. Forget being invisible. I want to take the new exam right here in your office right now. So that is the end of chapter 1. So how do you guys feel about Avery and her character in this chapter? So I wonder if you guys have ever been in that position where you feel as though you are doing everything right and things just seem to be falling apart around you. So this is kind of to set you up with some games that are going to be happening throughout her life. Some really exciting things are going to happen, and she's going to have to figure out lots of stuff. So I hope you're intrigued, and if this is a book you want to read, come see me. And yeah, so I will talk to you guys soon. Happy Wednesday.